Where have you been placing your signs at?
A lot of them have been in Texas, smaller towns.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
Do you see Norris Health Quotes entering the realm of Web3 in the next 5 to 10 years?
Anything with a bigger reach is I'm all ears for. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it means more money.
Tell me something about what you do that you don't like and why.
Something that I don't like about what I do. Everything. I wish I was rich. You know, no.
What's up, everybody? Walter Hooper, WA Hooper Marketing, host of Marketing Minds Meet, and we are broadcasting here at the Not Co-working Space in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan. That's where you can find us here for all of your podcasting needs, all of your digital marketing needs for that matter. But today, on this wonderful spring day, it feels like spring. It's going to be like almost a high of 70 today, so... Thank you, Mr. Groundhog, for predicting spring being here early. So, with that being said, on this fine spring day, I have here with me a guest who is brand new to the show, never been on the show, and for that matter, has never been on a podcast. Like crazy. I have known this individual since the glory year that was 2008. They were part of a fraternity that I ended up pledging and then eventually ended up becoming a member of, and then later on down the road ended up taking a leadership role, which quite frankly I think was kind of the precursor, was the nucleus of, well, starting my own business. But we'll get to that shortly. This is an individual that has been in the health insurance game for a little bit now. They got their start over in Cali, and now they have come back to Michigan, back to the mitten, and they now have their own agency, Norris Health Quotes. And it is my thrill and pleasure to introduce for the first time on Marketing Minds Me and first time on a podcast, the one, the only, Mr. Zach Norris. What's up, man?
Hey, how are you?
So, first off, dear Zach, can you let everyone know who you are and what is Norris Health Quotes all about?
Yeah. So, pretty much, my name's Zach. A lot of people call me James, Zach. I got multiple names. Long story there, but Norris Health Quotes and what we do there, we're a health insurance agency that really focuses on really building a relationship with every single one of our clients, opposed to just treating them like a transaction. We really try to specialize on helping low-income families find health insurance and help them with all their health needs, so that if they do run into any issue when it comes to going to the doctor, medications, medical bills, stuff like that, they're their first line of defense, their first call out. So
absolutely. And I can tell you right now, they have been a crucial part of my recent health insurance journey, and they have saved me a ton of money, so thank you for that. Like, the rates are great, so I'm just saying. So Zach, how long have you had the business for? How long have you been in the health insurance game? So two-parter. How long have you had the business, and how long have you been in health insurance for?
Okay, yeah. So I've had the business for probably the last 5 years. When I turned 30, actually, was when I really started doing things on my own. I've been in the health insurance industry for the last 10 years now. And it's been quite the journey of learning a lot.
So what inspired you to get into health insurance? Like, what was that like aha moment for you that, okay, this is what I want to do?
So I tried my hand at a lot of different type of sales positions and sales jobs. I definitely knew after some point in my life that sales was going to kind of be my thing. Hopefully, sales with a leadership opportunity involved too there. So I started off just selling credit card processing. that was one of my first sales jobs, was credit card processing to
nice.
Merchant services to businesses. I did that, and one of the cool things about working in an office is that you just start kind of build your own network when you work in a corporate office with people, to where if a bunch of people quit and they go somewhere else, well, they're going to test the waters there and tell you how it is and how it's going, and if it's that good, they'll tell you to come on over too, especially if you don't like where you're at the current time. And I did enjoy where I was at, but I was just interested in another field of sales and seeing how that went. And so I had a really good friend, my buddy Dan, reached out to me, and he was like, "Hey man, this is really cool. We all started working with this health insurance company. You should come and try this. I think you'd be really good at it." So I went there, and I tried it out, and I was not the best at first. I wasn't. It was surprising to me, because I thought I was going to do well, but I didn't do well at all at first.
That's okay. All right. Well, thank you, Dan, for inspiring Zach to get into the world of health insurance. So, when you first started out, so what was probably one of the biggest for you? What was one of the biggest challenges that you faced when you first started and got into this?
Like starting my own business wise.
Well, okay, we can go. I was thinking like when you first started, but what we can do, we can do the business as well. So when you first started, so after Dan got you in, and then when you became your own boss.
I think when I first started, I kind of got complacent a little bit, where I was just looking for anybody that would say yes after I gave them all the information they needed. Which is, you can be that kind of salesperson if you want, but you're only going to get so far, which is providing information to people and then waiting for them to say yes without having a backup answer or more information for them. If they give you a maybe, or I'm not sure, let me talk to my wife, stuff like that. So I really had no like line of defense as far as information goes. So I got complacent. I just kind of took all the yeses, and that was it. And that got me at the bottom of the leaderboard. And so I think I got kicked in the face so much from just doing that and making bare minimum income, to where, if you starve long enough, you're going to be a lot more hungry coming out. And I think at one point I just said, you know what, enough's enough. And I just started really, in the sales world, they'll call it eating my phone, where I just started realizing, okay, if I call more people than everyone here, if I have more talk time than everyone here, this will correlate to more sales and more money. And that helped there. And it took me about 1.5 years, but after that, I started growing significantly and went from dead last to unbeatable first. And I say it humbly, but I was killing it.
Well, that's and I think for someone like yourself, and just anyone really, to kind of go through that humbling experience, and realizing that, hey, like just like with anything, I'm a firm believer that, I know we talked about this before we hit the record button. It's like going after, those goals, going after those gains, going after, you always want to try and push yourself, and you always want to try and challenge yourself. And I know that, you've been doing that, and you have been, really successful at doing what you do. And that's in a way, and also in a way that's definitely, I've been taking notice of that. So, props to you for being able to overcome all of that and now be where you're at now. So getting into now starting Norris Health Quotes. So you started this 5 years ago. So you said when you just turned 30. So what was that moment where you said, when you realized I need to do this on my own, and I need to start my own journey and path, making my own way?
Right. Okay. So yeah, when I was 30, I was living in San Diego, California, and I decided, when I moved out to San Diego, I started working for a health insurance company and did the exact same thing I did here in Michigan. I was, selling health insurance over the phone. There was a whole nother aspect of health insurance, though, that I really wanted to learn, and it was the marketing behind health insurance. So doing that, once I left the company in San Diego, that pretty much said, okay, I'm going to go learn how to do marketing for health insurance now. And this is the part that drives all the business for health insurance, right? As far as like AdWords and leads and that whole world. So I left and I did that in downtown San Diego. It was really cool. It was for a company called Underground Elephant, and they pretty much just showed me how lead distribution and lead generation all worked for industries that I worked in. So I literally learned the whole other side of health insurance, which as far as the health insurance sales go, which was really cool. So I took all of that knowledge, and at some point I'm sitting there realizing, okay, I really enjoy sales, just as much as I enjoy marketing, but I enjoy sales more. And I started to realize too that I really, really, really wanted something different in my life that I never really had before, which was freedom. And that is what really pushed me to go test the waters and try my own thing. Was I hated explaining to somebody on the weekend or on a Friday or, why I wanted that Friday off. It's because I wanted to go, on a cool day trip somewhere with my wife, stuff like that. Or, I'm a weekend warrior. I love doing stuff on the weekend. I love traveling on the weekends. It's hard to just stay where I live on the weekends, whether I drive an hour away, even something like that. So it got really hard explaining to people over and over again on why I wanted time off, when at the same time I was working my butt off, Monday through Friday, twice as hard as probably anybody else in the office was. And again, I say that humbly, but I really do. I'm a hard worker, and I wanted more for my hard work, and I wanted that freedom.
Yeah. I mean, there is something to be had when you can be able to make that decision and call, and you have nobody else but yourself to answer to. Now, also in turn, though, just because you have that freedom doesn't necessarily mean it does have its downfalls too, just like with anything, I think.
Yeah.
So, when you request that freedom for yourself, I feel like, in that moment, you also, and I know you've done really, really well at this, is being able to balance that freedom with the hustle. So if you want to take that time away, then you better fucking work for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think you understand.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So now getting into, so then to circle back to, you talked about the challenge when you first started. So now you're 4 or 5 years now in the business, having your own company. What have you seen now lately? What has been one of your biggest challenges since owning and running your own business?
Honestly, I would say marketing has been my biggest challenge. I'm right back to kind of where I ventured off into in San Diego, right, as far as lead generation and all of that. The insurance industry, the health insurance industry right now, and again, the way we operate is we don't necessarily operate locally as much as we operate out of state, like in states like Texas, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio. Really, I would say about 10%, if that, of my business is really in Michigan. So the biggest challenge is the marketing and how I'm used to getting all of those states. At some point I became a little complacent with the marketing, and because it was working out so well. But just because something's always working out well doesn't mean you shouldn't have a plan B. And so the marketing companies have just kind of gotten a little convoluted with the way they do things and the way they share their information with other companies, where if I buy a lead, that lead's going to 20 other companies now, when it used to just go to 3. So the cost that I'm spending on all of that marketing right now, I'm trying to figure out how I can use it other ways to kind of test my own waters with my own marketing and stuff like that. which we actually were talking a little bit about that right before you started recording.
Mm-hmm.
But that's right now I'd say that's probably been my biggest challenge is just dealing with marketing and stuff like that. But we do have a plan B in the works.
So yeah, because this is Marketing Minds Meet. So far, and I know you said it has been a challenge, but when you have, worked on, your when you're working on your campaign, what have you seen so far with your, I'll say digital marketing, because I don't see you as someone that does paper really. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I feel like it's very, you have to have a very specific need for it. It's not a necessity. It's a sub tier essentially. But so for you right now with your digital marketing platforming, what have you seen? What has worked for you and what has worked for your company that's been successful and turned over into new clientele? And then what have you seen that's kind of, you tested it and you're like, this really isn't working. Let's go back to the drawing board. So what has been your successes and your, I wouldn't say failures, but, back to the drawing board, actions that you've done so
right. So digital marketing is like, so I have there's companies that I don't necessarily do the marketing for myself necessarily, but I kind of outsource that and work with other companies that do marketing for me. And I'd say there's 3 or 4 of them to where they usually run a lot of online ads. Not necessarily ads, but we do the Affordable Care Act a lot. So they run a lot of advertisements about how you can get health insurance for under $15 and stuff like that to kind of drive traffic, right? There's always going to be something that you want, your potential client to see that's going to make them call in to at least hear what you have to say. So there's going to be, keywords like that and, phrases like that. That's worked out pretty well. Just what those companies are doing. Again, though, it's that's the part that's getting convoluted too. So we're gonna figure something else out eventually. But honestly, one of the coolest things that's worked out, that's so old school marketing is signs, road sign, yard signs, that we'll put out all over the place, whether it's a telephone pole at an intersection, anything that literally will say $15 or less health insurance plans. If you've lost Medicaid, call us. A whole bunch of stuff, and the amount of natural organic traffic that I can get from just those signs alone are incredible. If I had 1 million people to put those signs out, I would. I don't. It's crazy. I mean, right now, I notice if you just notice when you're driving on the road, how many times you see at every intersection, there's a couple signs. One of the common ones I've been seeing lately is chimney repair. I have no idea how hot the chimney repair business is, but I see them all over the place. Or scrapping your car and stuff like that. We buy used cars or junk cars, stuff like that. Health insurance looks great next to all those. Diabetic test strips, you see those all over the place.
What?
Yeah, those are huge. I noticed after we talked today, when you start driving, when you get to every intersection, just look and see what kind of ads are on those flagpoles, because they wouldn't be there if they didn't work. So they're working, and the whole point is you want to essentially outweigh your costs. How much does it cost to get your client, right? Those ad signs can cost me anywhere from $10 to get a client, which is crazy. So that has been working too. So I mean, there's both sides, old school and the new world digital. All of that marketing has been working out. I honestly, if it was up to me and I could grow my business fast enough, I would go the old school route. But it's a new age and a new world. So
yeah, wow, you got to read the signs, people.
That's right.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I have seen, so you mentioned chimney repair,
yeah,
especially here in the Points. I have seen chimney repair signs, because a lot of these houses here in the bubble, people still like to use their fireplace, and yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I have seen quite a bit of that.
Makes you wonder how hot the chimney business is.
Right? I see what you did there. And not only that, but I think also too. Okay, so then follow up. Where have you been placing your signs at?
A lot of them have been in Texas, smaller towns.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. Small towns who don't really have that particular resource. Like, there's not every town. I mean, everyone has like their real estate agent or their local dentist or their doctor in their town. How many towns have like, that's the health insurance guy? You know what I mean? There's not that many people are familiar with it. Like, oh, I know someone who does health insurance. The last person, that someone probably is like, oh, I know they do health insurance is probably like that person that their HR representative had come into their workplace to go over the 3 plans they're offered, and that guy, that's that guy. Mm-hmm. So it gives me kind of a local presence where I actually have taken over as like the health insurance guy in some cities in Texas, which is really crazy.
Yeah, wow. The Lone Star State.
Yeah.
For Norris Health Quotes. Okay. And these are the company that does, so the company that you have ordered these signs from, they're the ones that put them out. Obviously. No. So my awesome employee of mine, awesome relative of mine, my little sister. Yeah.
She lives in Texas, and so her and her husband, they'll travel to go visit family, or they'll just go on trips. So she was like placing them all around, and gotten quite a bit of traffic just from her, stopping on the side of the road and putting up a sign here and there. And not only that, but those people, think about it, right? You're calling up, signing up for health insurance, giving somebody your personal information that you've never met off of a road sign that you saw. It takes a lot of trust to do that, right? So once you have someone do that, like referrals just come out of it. It's crazy. But to answer your question, my sister has been one of the people that has helped me a lot. I've had other people help me and go put out signs too. But she's been one of the best contributing factors to that.
Well, thank you to Sister Norris. We appreciate you for helping out your big brother.
Big time.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, interesting signs, huh? Well, and the cool thing about the sign thing too is it can be a mix of the old and the new. So obviously signs are an old school thing, but if you put on like a QR code, then that way, the newer era of individual can just take their good old smartphone and then just go, oh, okay. Oh yeah, my dad was asking for this. So it's just, I see it. Okay, all right. So signs, just read the signs, people. That's the whole point. So moving into the future now. And I think we talked about this a little bit, but I want to hear your take now a little bit more. Web3 is on the rise, and we have things like virtual and augmented reality. Do you see Norris Health Quotes entering the realm of Web3 in the next 5 to 10 years, and establishing a presence where you could have an even bigger reach in a whole different way? And is that something that you would be open to at least having a conversation about?
Yeah, I mean, if you always say, anything with a bigger reach is, I'm all ears for, I mean, at the end of the day, it means more money. So yeah, I mean, it's, I'm never opposed to anything like that. I mean, just with all the technology out there, ChatGPT, stuff like that, trying to figure out ways on how I can monetize off of that or use it to better myself or my business. Yeah, I mean, I used ChatGPT last night to read my kid a bedtime story.
I
really did.
I love it.
I really did. I typed in, give me a 2-minute story about Woody and Buzz for a 3-year-old toddler going to bed.
That's awesome.
And it was sweet.
Yeah, and that is just, AI is now like, that's the hot thing right now, and I think it's, I think you probably know about this too. Apple just released their Vision Pro goggles. So, it's first gen. So I always say first gen, it's going to have bugs just like anything. But, I feel like with, that kind of like, I'm going to kind of equate it to when this was released, back in the mid to late 2000s, the first iPhone, it was a game changer. And I think now with Apple releasing their platform, I think that's going to get people to better understand what this is. I think when Meta and the Oculus goggles first, hit the scene, I think it had bugs, but I also think too, people just, it was Zuckerberg backed, that he's got a weird thing with trusting people these days. So I think it was a little leery. And I think now, having the Apple version now out, and it's only going to evolve. And I think now being open to that idea of having that conversation and us, being able to talk about that, I think that is a huge, that's a big step right there, because I've talked to so many people that are like, oh, I don't know, I don't think I need that. It's like, don't be so quick to shy away from it, because it could be too late,
I mean, if you remember it, like when we were in high school, right? I mean, I heard this for sure, is that like Facebook had just came out when I was in high school.
Yep.
There was no Instagram, there was Twitter. And some of my teachers in high school were telling me there's gonna be companies that are gonna hire people just for Facebook. And I was like, what? It is the craziest thing. And I was like, no way. And now every company has a social media director. I mean, you're a living example of it. I mean, that's a lot of what you do. And so it's crazy. So for anyone to say, oh, I wouldn't entertain the thought of future technology, I mean, to me, it sounds wild, because you don't jump on when it's too late, because part of the problem is it's too hard to learn when it's too late. Some people just hit a point of learning where they're like, all right, I'm just done with all the new stuff. I'm used to what I'm used to, and that's it. And you'll see it's like when your parents get the Roku remote. They're like, what is this thing? Like, like they're done. They're done. They know the Universal remote. They know the Comcast remote, but you give them the Roku remote and they're like, I have no idea. Like, you're like, no, it's really easy. You just hit Netflix on the button Netflix on there, and it plays Netflix, but some people are just so fed up with learning the new that, and that's how it goes with technology. Is I think everyone reaches a level of what they're done doing when it comes to technology, which stinks, but it's the sad truth.
And yeah, you know what that is? I guess I never really heard it verbalized quite like that. Because, and I also think too, I think, and I can speak from being in the industry, because starting out, I started out as being a social media management company. And then I think it was like in 2016 is when I changed over to marketing. And I did that on purpose because I could see the writing on the wall of what was going to become and evolve with social media. When I started, you didn't have Snapchat, you didn't have TikTok, you didn't have Be Real. I mean, you didn't have all of these things that we have now. Mm-hmm. It was, I advertised Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. To me, those were the big three at the time.
Yeah.
So now we fast forward, and I can't tell you how many times where I've talked to individuals and clients and just people out there in the networking realm where they're just like, I'm so I'm so overwhelmed with what is out there. I don't know where to go.
Right.
And honestly, and I mean, and I really sincerely mean this, like if you are out there starting your own social media agency now, like good luck. Like good luck. Because it is, and I really do mean that, and I wish you the best. Because I know for me, it got to a point where I was like, dear God, like if I continue doing this and just doing that, I'm going to go fucking insane.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm glad I got out of it, you know, full time when I did. And I still work with, I mean, you know that I still work with it, but I do it in a different light now. And I'm very selective in what I do with it.
Yeah.
So, and I think for a lot of people out there, if they don't know, like, oh, what do I do? Like, okay, where do you want to, it's the basic questions of where do you want to, what audience do you want to reach? You know, where are you looking to target? And, you know, which one do you feel the most comfortable using and utilizing?
Right.
You know, I know for me and what I do, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, because a lot of what I do is visual.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that works for me, and I have a Facebook account and I have a Facebook business page, but everything now gets funneled through Instagram on there because Meta has gone through all these updates where you don't even have to open the Facebook app anymore. You can just post it, and if you link both of your business profile on both platforms, Instagram will just funnel it there for you.
It's almost monopolized.
You don't say.
It's overcrowded. It's extremely competitive. There's you got to be on it for that type of marketing.
Yeah, and like I said, anybody that goes into it right now and is looking to start a business just doing social media marketing, good luck. I wish you all the best, and I wish your sanity stays intact. That's all I'm going to say. Now, we're going to move into some... So, you know, I like Star Wars, and so we do the light and the dark. And now we are approaching dark territory. So... with that being said, the first dark side question I would like to throw your way, Sir Zach of Norris. Tell me something about what you do that you don't like and why.
What don't I like? Something that I don't like about what I do. That's really hard to say. It really is. I mean, everything. I wish I was rich. You know, no. No. I mean, I think dealing with during like health insurance comes. It's not really even a roller coaster with health insurance. There's just one point where you're constantly going uphill, which is open enrollment, and that's your busy season. To where I liked it. I used to like it as a regular health insurance agent when I was working for someone. And then when I started doing it on my own, I don't like it as much now.
Open enrollment.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's chaotic. There's, especially when I wear every single hat in the business. You know, it's I don't just have to worry about selling. I have to worry about marketing. I have to worry about customer service. I have to worry about selling on top of that again. And then just making sure that our clients aren't getting taken from us during open enrollment from another health insurance agent, which is the biggest headache that's been going on lately, that I don't like either. So there are definitely things that I don't like about what I do, but overall, I still love it.
Yeah, and I mean, no job is perfect, obviously, right. And you know, I can't. Yeah, because I remember, you know, talking with you, and you know, when you've got me signed up for a plan, what have you, like, you know, it's like yeah, you're always telling me, man, it's chaotic. It is I am just, the phones are nonstop ringing. And I mean, it's a good problem to have,
Yeah.
but a good problem still has the word problem in it. You know what I mean? And I mean, how many on staff do you have now?
I have 3 right now besides myself.
Okay. And I know that, those 3 individuals are very capable. I mean, that's why you hired them.
Right.
To be able to help you out. But even still, I mean, there's, there might be some things, that maybe they aren't quite as endowed with and trained in yet that like you said, that you are. So then if they have a question or something, then you got to be stepping and be like, all right, it's this and this, let me show you. And then
part of it's trust too on my end. Where do I trust somebody to do everything that I know how to do? And I think it comes with anything, right? When you start gaining some type of management position or anything like that, and you want to start delegating your task out to people, will they do it as good as you? Will they do it? I mean, it might as well they do it as perfect as you. Because I mean, I care that much to where I try to be damn near perfect every time I do something when it comes to my craft. So.
Oh yeah, and I think any, a lot of business owners, majority of them, I know myself included, like I'm the same way. I mean, I'm still a one-man show. I mean, even though I do subcontract out, but I know in those areas though, the ones that I do subcontract, like web design, and things of that nature, I've established a rapport with that individual, and have seen their work, firsthand, and go, okay, yeah, that's you're the one.
Absolutely, yep.
So yeah, no, I get it, man. Like I totally get it.
Yeah.
All right. So following up with that, so are you? I probably know the answer to this, but do you listen to blues music at all? Are you familiar with a lot of blues artists?
Vaguely.
Okay. Well, he was the old school Mississippi Delta blues player, went by the name of Robert Johnson. And go watch the previous episodes, I explained like the whole detail of the story. Long story short, there was a mythos and legend that goes that one evening he was walking home, and he had his guitar with him in a case, and he happened to cross paths with this individual, and this individual said, "Hey, do you want me to tune your guitar for you?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And he goes, "All right, if I tune this for you, then you will become the greatest guitar player that has existed." And he goes, "Oh, okay, cool." So he does it. And then not long afterwards, he establishes a lot more fame and notoriety, and his skills have just enhanced like times 10 and all that good stuff. So then one evening he just happens to be at a juke joint, and he takes a sip of his drink, and he keels over and is taken from the earth at the age of 27. So the first to enter the 27 club. Now, what was said was that when that guitar was tuned, he essentially made a deal with the devil. And the deal was, I'll make you the most famous and greatest player ever, but it comes with a price. So, my question to you, Zach Norris, if the devil were to present you with an opportunity to have Norris Health Quotes be one of the most known and wanted health insurance agencies in the entire world, you would have people clamoring to you and your company wanting to sign up with policies after policy, and you would just be engulfed with all the riches. But the devil does have a price, and the devil does come to collect his pay in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't necessarily have to be with your life. It could be at the expense of others around you that you care about, whether it's friends or family. But you would have notoriety. You'd be set for life. You wouldn't have to worry about anything as far as money and material goes. So, do you take the deal that the devil presents to you, Zach Norris?
No, two parts to that. Absolutely not. No, none of that's worth it to me. But the second part is I don't need the devil to get there.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, if I want to and my mind's right and I put my mind to it, I can get there on my own. For sure. But no, I would never make any deal with the devil for that aspect. If I wanted to, I'll do it all on my own.
All right. You know, I gotta say that has got to be the most
See? Lights turn on right after that answer.
So yeah, let me tell you this right now. That has to be probably one of the best responses I've got so far from that question.
Good. I mean it.
You just said, "Fuck off, devil."
Yeah. I don't need them.
I love it. Okay, now we passed through the dark portion, so we're back into the light. So now we're gonna go on this little live stream portion, and we're gonna ask some fun questions now for you.
All right, cool.
All right. All right, what's going on, everybody? It literally really does feel like spring today. We are looking at a high of almost 70 degrees here in Metro Detroit in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan. Welcome to another mini live stream of Marketing Minds Meet. And we are here at the Not Co-working space in Grosse Pointe Park. And with me today is an individual that I have known since the year 2008. We happen to be in the same fraternity together, and throughout the years we maintained contact, and then in the last couple of years we really reconnected again over business, and they are now a business owner, and they have a team that works for them as well. And this is an individual that has been in the health insurance realm for a while now. They've had their business for the last 4 to 5 years. They got their start doing all of that in the wonderful state of California on the West Coast, and now they come back to Michigan to reestablish their roots here and make a presence here locally. I have the proud pleasure to introduce to you for the first time on Marketing Minds Meet and on a podcast ever, for that matter, the one and the only Zach Norris.
Hello.
So, Zach, why don't you tell everyone here on the live stream that watches during and after who you are and what Norris Health Quotes is all about?
Right. Okay. So, So who I am is my name is Zach. I'm a health insurance agent. I own Norris Health Quotes. Really, what we are is my answer changes every time I come up with this, but we are a health insurance agency, but it's a little deeper than that. We try to be a solution for everyone, but the main people we try to help are lower income families, and try to give them the same type of relationship that anybody else would have with their health insurance agents, so we could be their first point of contact for medications, doctor's office questions. Hey, I need my insurance cards. Any type of question they will have, whether it's a billing question, all of that stuff. At least be able to navigate them in the right direction for that. We don't just sign them up for health insurance. We maintain that relationship the whole entire time.
Excellent. And I can say personally that Zach has helped me find an insurance plan that works for me. Because I'll be blunt about it. Health insurance can be a fucking nightmare, and premiums can be atrocious. They can be almost sickening of what some people pay. But Zach has been able to successfully and so flawlessly be able to get me signed up on a plan that works for me, and I can't thank you enough for that, my man.
Of course.
So with that being said, I want to know, and I think the audience would like to know, when you are not running your business like the boss that you are, and when you're not making moves and going after those goals and accomplishments, What are some of your favorite hobbies and activities that you enjoy outside of work?
Number one, I mean, like number one is like my family, and my son. Just hanging out with him and my wife is literally like we could be sitting on the couch. It's my favorite thing to do. We camp. We started camping a lot. So hanging out with them and doing stuff and traveling with them is really fun. For myself, I really am into like health and wellness type stuff. I like not like crazy. Like I still I like beer. So I'm not that far into it. But I mean, I really enjoy working out, and literally just learning about all the new stuff like ice baths and all that. I've been really getting into that lately.
You're one of those.
yeah, it's cool.
All right, so let's break that down. You have a wife and child, and you are expecting another to be on the way, correct?
Yeah, little girl.
Well, again, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And you actually, you've known your wife since college too.
Yeah, we've been married for 10 years.
Yeah, and I believe she was in one of the sororities too.
Yep.
So see how all that works. So wife and family, and camping. Let's talk a little bit about that. So you have a camper?
Yeah, I do. Crazy how it happened, but yeah, I have a camper.
Nice.
I have a camper. Bought it last year, and it's hard to find us on a weekend at home in Michigan when the weather's nice.
Oh yeah, no, we had a camper growing up, and oh man, I miss it, and yeah, because it's basically it's a mobile cottage is what it is.
That's what I call it, the cottage.
Yeah, and I mean the way that they are now compared to like when me and my family got into it, now I mean. Like slide outs back then that was a luxury back in my day. Now it's standard.
Huh. We don't have a slide out.
and but even just I think people finally got on board with, oh well, this can be relaxing. You don't have to go to these expensive hotels or go too far. You can literally go like maybe like an hour or so north and find a campground and just set up shop and just relax.
Definitely, and I think I think COVID really amped up the camping game too.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are figuring out, hey, where can I travel? Where I can constantly be outside, and have my own hotel room, pretty much.
That's right.
And so, I came after all that, but
yeah, and I will say as opposed to tent camping, because I've done both. If tent camping's your thing, great. It's not for me. I fucking hate tent camping. It is a nightmare. It's cold, and then when it's like gets really hot, like you basically become a rotisserie chicken, like in your tent. Like you wake up and
the sun is your alarm clock.
It is, and it's awful. You wake up in just your own sweat and filth, and you're like, wow, well, this is a really shit way to start my day. Thanks, Mother Nature. Thanks, tent camping. Fuck.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about a camper is you get the best of both worlds. You can enjoy Mother Nature all that you want, and then when it's time to go inside, you have air conditioning. You have a sink and all that. You shower.
I can make it real cold in there too when I want to. It's nice. I love that.
So what we're trying to say is more RV camping, mobile camping, and less tent camping. So
for sure.
No, because we're not going to music festivals like we used to and camping out with our buddies. No, I know at least for me those days are kind of numbered. So I like my own space. I miss those days. They were fun. I mean they were fun when we were able to do that. So, but so then you mentioned beer, craft beer in particular.
Yeah, any beer. I love craft beer though. I do.
What are your go-to beers?
My go-to beers really anything. Honestly, anything. depends on where I'm at, right? And what brewery I'm at. I was just in Frankenmuth this past weekend, and I was getting down on their box. So those are awesome beers. But typically, if I go to a brewery, I'll ask them for their IPA, like what's their like flagship IPA, and just drink that. But I mean, it's the whole concept of the beer too. It's not really even like how good beer is. It's just having a beer with people, which is that's probably one of the enjoyable parts of the beer itself. If you get like an old fashioned at a bar, it's a less conversational drink in my opinion, where you're probably just sitting there chilling out on your phone, maybe with a couple of people. But at a brewery, you're kind of going, having a beer, and really kind of focusing on talking with the people around you, which it's a conversation piece of its own.
Yeah, and IPAs, I'm right there with you. I know I like you for a reason. Okay. So where you're at, are there any local places that you like to frequent that are your go-to breweries? Or?
Lately, yeah. Well, I mean, so previously when I moved to San Diego, like, I would say like 50% of the reason why I moved to San Diego and the neighborhood that I moved to was the brewery scene. When I lived there, like there's 12 breweries within a half a mile of my house. So it's awesome. It literally is like, if you like beer, it is the perfect place to go for someone who really loves beer, which I loved beer. So we ended up moving there after going on vacation with no jobs lined up or anything. But now locally here in Michigan, I really enjoy this brewery right by my house. It's called Dog and Pony.
Oh, that place is great.
Yeah, that place is awesome. The people there are great, and the beer is really good. And it's when you have a kid, breweries are really dope because they're just bars that you can take your kids to. You're not taking your kid to the corner bar, but you could take them into the brewery.
And what's funny about that is, so one of my go-to places here on the east side is, and I'm a mug member there too, Baffin Brewing Company.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times, man, I've seen young families like come in and like they have like their kids in strollers or like toddlers, and they just set up shop and they just hang out and just
here's the iPads. Let me drink my beer.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? Good for you. Or like if it's Dad's Day to like watch their kids, like if I ever get to that point in my life, if I have kids, like, oh, you better believe that Dad's gonna take some day trips to the brewery with the like. All right, here's the iPad, and here's your your Cheerios or whatever food that you're gonna eat, and have at it.
One of my like concepts and goals in life is to like, I talked to my wife about this the other day, but is to literally like open up a brewery that is aimed for kids. Nah, obviously not the beer, right?
Yeah.
But like just the culture of it being like a place where you want to take your kids because there's an indoor playground in there, or you have an outdoor space where you can let your kids run around, or dogs, stuff like that. That really, really gives your kids something to do there too. I went to a place in Texas, in Houston, that had something like that, where it was so like kid oriented that place was packed. And obviously with kids, but more with parents, because if I bring my kid to a brewery, there's going to be a lot of people that, I can get other people who don't have kids to come hang out with me there, opposed to them just hanging out at my house or my kids just jumping off the couch the whole time. It's more of a safe place to be like, all right, we're going to go now, instead of them awkwardly leaving my house because my kid's being too crazy or something like that. You know what I mean? So I really, it's been a goal and a vision to open up like a brewery or a tap room. It doesn't even have to be a brewery, but it'd be cooler if it was, where we had our own beer. But to open up something that's aimed towards like parents, we'll say parents instead of kids.
Yeah, young families.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or just families in general.
That if I could really like exit out of whatever I'm doing and go to something kind of like more, I'm sure that is not the most relaxing gig in the world either. That comes with its challenges. But I would love to just like be like, oh, this is what I do. is I run this, and that's it.
All right. Well, now I'm going to use this time to give a call to action to the one, the only Tom Muse, one of my best friends down in Atlanta. He just got married late last year. You heard him, Tom. Like he's thinking about it. So you know what? Talk to him because Tom's been wanting to open his own place, and I think he's getting there. I mean, he's now head brewer at this place he's at. He's been doing that for a little while now. So I think the next logical step, I think, for him would be to open. So yeah, he's definitely one you want to pick his brain about that.
I listened to a pod. I didn't listen to the whole thing because I was like, it was kind of in between work. But I listened to a little bit of a podcast with Tom in it.
So
recently,
did I.
That he was on talking about his journey in craft beer, it was really cool to hear. It's good to hear that he's doing well too with it.
Oh yeah, because I remember when he first mentioned in that interview when he was in Wisconsin, and he was working for this nonprofit. Dude, I will never forget. He showed me his office because we were just walking around town, and he's like, "Yeah, you want to see where I work?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Of course." And so we go there, and oh my God, I could feel I could just feel like part of his soul leaving his body.
Yeah.
When he was like showing me the place, he's like, "All right, well, this is it. It's where I work. Over here is the break room. Over here is where my boss's desk is. That's where the so-and-so's desk. And, I'll show you my office." And so we go to his office. He's like, "Yeah, this is it." I'm like, "Oh, sweet." I'm trying to be all like motivational. Like, yeah, dude. Like, yeah, this is your first. He's just like, it's all right, And then he looks over and he breaks it. He breaks into this one thing, and he goes, "Oh, fuck! I got another. God damn it! All right. Anyways, moving right, and I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, it's probably one of those, like the meme that's been floating around. Like it's like, "Thanks for working 60 hours a week. Here's your pizza party. Please limit yourself to one pop. And 2 slices at max. Unless there's leftovers."
Oh my God. I mean, I didn't say anything like at that time because like I was just soaking in like what was going on. But then later on, after he left that job, I said, "Yo, can I be real with you for a second?" He goes, "Yeah, of course." I'm like, "Yeah, I could tell you hated that." He goes, "Oh yeah, I fucking hate it."
Yeah, I mean, most people, like anybody who's in that type of environment, there's nothing wrong with that type of environment at all.
No, nothing wrong
there's
with
nothing
it.
wrong with it at all, but like, it's just like certain people want more in life, like whether it's, they want to do something completely different than what they're doing, or, anything else, which was that was the coolest part, was to hear how he got started into all that, where I think he was just like talking to the head brewery, like, "Hey, if there's anything you need, let me know, and I'll help you out with it." And he eventually just started teaching him how to make beer, which is real. That's dope.
Yeah, I remember when he was kind of starting to, when he threw out the idea of wanting to kind of start that journey.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey man, like, if you feel like that's what you want to do, and that's what all the signs are pointing to." Again, going back to the signs, yeah, go for it, man. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'll support you no matter what. Like, you're my boy,
Right.
Of course, I'm going to cheer you on from the sidelines and, what have you. And so now to see him where he's at now, and, I mean, at his wedding, like he made a custom beer for that night. And it was really fucking good.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's sweet.
So, talk to Tom Muse. Yeah. If you get the chance, like if you're really thinking about that, like just pick his brain. Like he's always down to talk about that. So with that being said, before we log off here, how can people find you? How can people reach out to you if they have they have any questions regarding their current health insurance plan, if they're looking to maybe change their plan, or if they just want to get information about Norris Health Quotes, how can people find you? Do you have a phone number, website, email, social media? Now is the time, Zach Norris, to put out all those things. Go for it.
So the first thing I'll say is if you or anyone you know has just a healthcare.gov marketplace insurance plan that you made through the marketplace that you signed yourself up with, the one thing that you don't have if you did that is a health insurance agent. It doesn't cost us, it costs you nothing to make us your agent, to represent you, to help navigate you throughout the years of using healthcare.gov. That's one of the coolest things about what we do is we don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about paying us or anything like that. There's none of that. The other part is you can reach us. Our phone number is 248-897-4941. NorrisHealthQuotes.com. Norris, just like Chuck Norris. It's easy to remember. And then we're on social media too, as Norris Health Quotes on Instagram. You can look us up there and message us there. But one of the coolest parts is that I've done is we do have a physical office in Berkeley, right at 12 and Coolidge. Please pop in if you want to, just to say hi if you have questions or anything. A lot of my presence in our company's presence has been just over the phone with other states. We're trying to really develop more of a local presence here in Michigan as well, though. And we've been growing rapidly within the state of Michigan lately, too. So we are always open for, a sit-down conversation as well. But don't think that you just have to drive there. You can call us. We're very easy to get a hold of, and that's one of the best parts about us is we don't hide. We don't hide from the phone ringing when after we sign someone up for their insurance. We're right there ready to help them out. So
yeah, and I like I said, I can attest to everything that he's saying. Everyone there at the office is super welcoming. They're really cool, really chill, and more than happy to answer your questions. And of course, Zach's the boss, and he just knows what's up. So give him a call, reach out to him. Send him a DM, whatever the case may be. He'll be there to help you out. No questions asked. He's really good at what he does. Dude, this was so much fun, man.
Yeah,
I really
awesome.
would love to have you back on the program here soon, and talk about some other things. But what'd you think?
It was great. This was a lot of fun. I was really nervous. My wife's like, don't act all nervous. So hopefully, if she's made it this far and she does watch this, maybe she'll think I wasn't as nervous at the end. I don't know, but I know I for sure felt nervous at first.
Oh yeah.
But you make it very welcoming to do this, and it's a lot smoother than I thought. So, and you got a cool setup. This is really neat. I know a lot of people try to do podcasts, but this is actually a really neat setup. I've never seen a podcast setup before, but this one, I'm really impressed, Walter. So,
well, thanks, dude. As I say, it's a labor of love, and we started back in 2020, during the pandemic, and really it was out of necessity. I knew it was something I wanted to do, but at that time, I couldn't see clients, for in person for video shoots or anything of that matter. So it was a do or die, and so podcasting just came to my brain. I was like, well, I always wanted to do that, have that be a part of what I do and offer that.
Right.
So now's the perfect time. So I had majority of the equipment. I didn't have the cameras; it was audio only. But didn't have this video switch or anything. I just had a mixer and I just ordered a couple of microphones, and now it's evolved into this. So no, I appreciate that, man. And yeah, like I said, it's a labor of love. So
yeah.
But with that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in. Please, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, all those things. And but YouTube is really our big. It's really our big platform that we put a lot of this content on here. We do have Spotify and Apple as well, but you want the full gamut, YouTube is the way to go. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, and we really appreciate you. But yeah, so with that being said, yeah, Zach, this has been a pleasure, man. Love to have you back, and thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been Marketing Minds Meet, and we'll see you next time.